Hey guys, this is my first Pullip Make It Own kit. Now I took everything out of the box, and this is all the things that come with the kit. It comes with the face head part, then it comes with the back, it comes with a body, and the body has a bunch of joints so you can like move the arms and legs. And it comes with an eye mat, which is what you use to put the eyes and stuff, and you'll be putting it inside the head. Then it also comes with these, which are tools that you put in the eye mat to make the eyes move back and forth. And these are the eyelids. And I didn't take these out of their packages yet because they're small and I don't want to lose them. These are the 2 eye chips, and also in there's eyelashes, but I might be using my own. And then here are some little screws that we'll be using. Now, since these instructions seem very challenging, I watched a YouTube video myself, and it's much easier than it looks. For the face, I'm going to be putting makeup on it, so I'll probably be using some pastels. And since the makeup won't like stick on, I'm going to put some finish on it. And I heard a good brand is Mr. Super Clear, but since I couldn't find that at my local art store, I'm using this, which is just a finish. And it eliminates glossy sheen, and it's protective and moisture resistant, and it dries quickly. So I'll be using that, and I'll be doing it outside since I'm not supposed to do it in the house. And I'll show you once I finish doing that. Now that the sealant spray is dry, I'm going to start doing the makeup. I'm going to start with the eyebrows, and I'm going to use this pencil crayon and I might go over it with something else if this seems too light, but I'm going to start off with trying to go over it with this. The eyebrows are done, and they're not the exact same, but they're pretty similar. And I only used this pencil crayon. I started off doing it very lightly to get the idea of the shape I was going to do. And once I decided that they looked good, I went over them darker with the same thing. And next, I'm going to do some blush. And I'm going to use this, which is a makeup sponge. And I'm going to use some pastels. Now make sure it's chalk pastels and not oil pastels, because I've heard that oil-based like things aren't very good for the plastic, and so I'm using the chalk pastels. They're called soft pastels. Now I've added the blush, and it's very faint, but you can still see it. It's harder to see with the video, but you can see it on her cheeks. I used some chalk pastels. I used this color, which is like a light pink. It looks a little bit orange in the video. It's just like a light pink. And then this darker pink. And next I'm going to do some eyeshadow, which I'll probably do purple. Now I've finished the eyeshadow, and since I noticed that the pastels were a little bit too light, I actually used some of my own eyeshadow, and I used a Q-tip to put it on. And now I'm going to do some eyeliner. Now I use this paint pen to do the eyeliner, and next which I already started, I'm using this marker, which is purple, to do some eyelashes on the bottom part of the eye. Now that I've finished the eyes, I'm going to do the lips and do a little bit of lipstick. I've done the lipstick with this pink Sharpie, which is water-based paint. And as you can see, there's a little bit on the inside that hasn't been colored since I couldn't get into that space, but you can't really tell. And now I'm going to start with the eyes. Now these are the eyelids, and I'm going to be painting them. And the flat part is going to be at the bottom, so it will be like this. Now I've finished the eyelids, and I put like the same eyeshadow that I did on her eyes, and then at the bottom I did some black paint pen. And I think I'm going to add, just to make it more like one of a kind, I'm going to add a little flower here, I think. So once I finish doing that, I'll show you before I go on to the next step. Okay, so I've done my little design here. And since I'm done the makeup and I've done these, my next step is I'm going to spray it again to make sure that none of the makeup comes off. But I'm going to do that, and then I'm also going to need to do the eyes themselves. Now I've tried putting the eyelids on, just placing them to see what they look like, and I suggest that you like check to make sure you like it before you seal it with the spray. And I like mine, so I'm going to spray it. So while I wait for it for the spray to dry and everything, I'm going to move on to the eyes. Here are the eye chips, and acrylic paint works best, so I think I'm going to do that. And you paint it on the inside. So I'm going to try doing that next. Okay, now I've done painting the eyes, but they're still drying. It's not completely dry yet, but the eyes are purple. And that one is just like upside down. The paint is all drying, but that's what it looks like. And I still have them drying. And so next I'm going to start assembling. Now that the finish has dried over the makeup, so now the makeup won't come off. So now I'm going to do the eyelashes. And it came with eyelashes here, but I got my own eyelashes that I'm going to use, which are these that I got. You could get these like a bunch of different places that have like makeup and stuff. These are fake eyelashes, and I'm gonna need to cut them. So I'm just gonna do that and I'll see if I can get the right size. Now I have done the eyelashes, and there was a line here showing where to put them, and these ones are the ones that are mine, and I followed the same length as the ones that they came with. And now I'm just waiting for the glue to dry. Now that the eyes are dry, I'm going to glue them into the iMac. Now I have glued the eyes on. I'm going to start assembling, like putting it into the head, and with the eyelids too. Okay, so you're gonna need to put the eyelids in first. And make sure that the eyelashes are out of the eye. And like the larger part goes on the inside. If you want to, you could just check and see if that's how you like it. Now these parts. It should a little bit easier if they're like outside. So now that these are lined up, I'm going to put in the eye neck. Now I think that the glue is drying. Okay. Now check that these parts are like inside there as much as possible. And once it's ready, then you can put them in. And this part is at the top. So like this would be more at the bottom. There's for the screws, we're going to need to put in these 3 little holes, which I'm going to get ready. Now that I've screwed these in, see how there's 2 little springs there? You need to get get them, and you're going to need to hook them onto these. And it's hard to do it with one hand since I'm holding the camera, so I'm just gonna show you once I'm done. Now that I've finished that part, I'm going to put these pieces on, which will be able to make the eyes close. Now you have those in so that the diagonal is facing out. And now we'll put on the back of the head. Since I am going to be putting the body on, I just wanted to see what it would look like. And this is her when she's completely done. So now I'm going to put the body on and screw it in. Onto the body, and now all I need is a wig and some clothes, and then I'll be finished.